Yeah, I'm a little late. Would you believe me if I said that I was waiting for Jim to get back from lunch with his wife? Yeah, I don't even have my headset on. I have some topics lined up, but if you have something in chat, a question or an issue,
DougBot said I'm working here.
then let me know about it and we'll go that way. Let's see, I gotta get that confirmation. Yeah, I got speaker bot audio and I got my audio. And yeah, I saw that people noticed that their comments from last night are missing. I do know that Ken Stout was first, so I will give him credit for that. And no, I do not award points for that. Well, at least not today, I'm not. Hello, I hope you've had a good week. I have. Oh, I have 2 clients that had security issues this week. That's on them. I do not use the MSP model where I promise to prevent them from security issues. They know it was their wrongdoing. So I have those stories to tell. If that's the way that we go, I have not looked much at chat. Obviously, I got to my desk without having anything set up prepared. I thought I had like half an hour to go, and it was 3 minutes till showtime. So I said, oops, and started getting my act together. Let's see, in OBS, I do not have chat yet. Oh, there I go. Just click on the chat tab. That's easy enough. So I guess I'll go take a look at chat and see if anyone has a computer-related question or issue or story. Oh, you know what? I haven't checked emails since a few hours ago to see if anybody has sent a topic or issue through email. So I'm just scanning through that now to see if I recognize anything. No, I do not. So if anybody's out there that thinks they sent me an email, then let me know that in chat, and then I'll go try to find it. And currently, the oldest chat that I am showing is Isaiah Davis. Isaiah L. Davis. I don't think I'm quite at the point of remembering your name if you didn't put that in. I for Isaiah,
chat, please.
L for his middle name, D for Davis, love for JC. I will presume that is a spiritual reference without getting to the detail about it. Probably most of you would be able to put 2 and 2 together. Chris Garrett, I'm wondering about the Secure Boot update coming this month. I actually saw that happen on one of my computers where it was adding the brief bit that I read about it is that it was adding some other elements to Secure Boot. I don't think there's anything of significance to that. Perhaps it has something to do with issues that some people were having related to Secure Boot that was fixing. I think that installed on Baby Beast. Let's see, 2, not in a quality update. I don't know if it was on Baby Beast. They have updates happening all the time. Anyway, if somebody comes up with a link for that, we can go discuss Amundo that. What? Doug, the words you come up with. Where, how, why. Okay, well let's go check with Gemini. See what Gemini says on that. It's a reasonable topic. It's a reasonable curiosity. So, at Chris Garrett's request, I'm wondering about Secure Boot update coming this month. Just copy and paste straight into an AI. I don't know if Chris has done this yet. He thinks of me as an artificial intelligence, so he turns to me with questions like this. It's smart to be keeping an eye on this. As there have been, whoops, wait a minute, that's not what I wanted. That was supposed to be Alt-2 for my red dot. As there have been a lot of recent buzz and technical chatter about the update you're referring to as part of a major industry-wide refresh of Secure Boot certificates that Microsoft is actively rolling out right now. Here's a straightforward breakdown of what is happening this month, why it matters, and what you need to do. The core issue, expiring certificates. All right, certificates always been a thing. Okay, Tony, I see that. I see that. He says you missed my milestone again. All right, so Tony's got a milestone in here. So I'm jumping topic right now to go see Tony. Here he is. Remember now for 14 months. I think just about each month Tony is giving us this, and he only gets one shot per month. So he wants to say it. Look, I've been a member for 14 months. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you being around here. All right, now back to Chris's topic. The Secure Boot is a security standard. Yeah, that's what it is. The chain of trust relies on digital certificates. Yeah, what's happening in March 26? Because the June deadline is approaching, Microsoft is aggressively ramping up the rollout of these new certificates. For everyday users, the update is rolling out gradually. Microsoft identifying high confidence devices, PCs with known stable firmware, and automatically applying the new certificates in the background. So certificates that expire over time, just like website certificates will expire over time. Apparently there are certificates in Secure Boot that expire over time. For IT professionals, Microsoft releasing specific tools, group policy updates, and hosting events like and Ask Microsoft Anything on March 12, 2026 to help system admins. Yeah. What happens if you don't get the update? Yeah. I'm getting bored with this already. This is a routine thing. Nothing to get freaked out as far as I can see. If you bought your PC in 2024 or later, it likely shipped with new certificates already installed. If your PC is older, here's what you need to do. You know that if you bought your PC in 2024 and it was like from Dell, HP, Lenovo, one of the major names, I would suspect they might be more responsible and diligent to be current with certificates. The B-Link computers that I buy, I would not expect that because they manufacture the computers and they're not going to go patch them before shipping them out once their manufacturing process is already in place. Keep Windows updated, check for BIOS firmware updates, and if you're in the custom PC world, custom build, that's more important. If you're in a manufactured PC world, my experience so far is that BIOS updates are oftentimes come through Windows updates, especially for Dell and HP, those type of computers, but probably not so much for B-Link. But I know I'm not going to go searching them out. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to choose a $300 range model, test it for my clients. Once it did validate, yes, it's working great, then stay with a particular model. Because if there is a BIOS update that comes out for those that's important, then I know that I can just go make the rounds and do those updates. And that's a billable event for my clients because I don't mark up the price on the computers. Therefore, I don't absorb the cost of maintaining them. I charge for my time for doing the work for my clients. But as yet, there has not been a BIOS update that was important for them. Now, some people will argue that all BIOS updates are important. I'm sorry, no. They're not. Go read the details about it. I challenge you to show me the details of any BIOS update for B-Link computers that I'm doing my clients a disservice by not having caught those. And you might be able to do that because I haven't gone and read the details about all of them. So coming back here, I got all of that. Yeah, so that's a nothing burger. It's one of those things that will get clicks on videos and news articles. People throwing up their arms and talking about this major secure boot update. And I will give you the caveat. I have not researched it. I am not going to take the time to research everything that comes out in the clickbait news world. Once I find out that there is some substance to it, then I'll go take the deeper dive. All right, I'm going to go hit some oranges. Chris, if you have more specifics on your question or interest, let me know. If that answered your curiosity, let me know that too. All right, so I'm going to go looking for the oranges. And hello, John Williams. And I'll use the auto scroll here. Why is it not auto scrolling? Try that again. There's the auto scroll. Because that goes a lot smoother. Look, Mom, no hands. Looking for an orange or maybe catching something that is a question that somebody didn't do. A exclamation mark C. Hello, boss. There's Tony's membership. Yeah, whoops, I didn't. That went too quick. There was one there. And Chris Garrett says hello. John Williams, see you off your feet and doing fine. Yeah, he's referring to me sitting down in my chair for those who don't know. And that was Chris's question. Oh, there's kind of a jump when it gets right to the end. There's a weird little jump. And Ken Stout asked if I'm still using mouse without borders. No, I am not. And I missed this one. Don't you wear a tinfoil hat? No. I think that's a reference to throwing the alarm when these clickbait tech news articles come out. Secure boot keys. Yeah, Scott, that appears to be what the case is. And I didn't really know it till I went to read that. Although I think the blurb that I read from a computer that was installing that update, I did see that. So there, I believe I have caught all the oranges. For those who don't know, this is showing up in orange because the person typed @ symbol and then my channel name.
Read chat, please.
You don't see it in orange on your side because you're not me. Good morning, I'm DougBetts, and you're not. I get to see that in orange. So if you type somebody's name like here, this @John Downey, on John Downey's screen, that shows up in orange to draw his attention to it. If somebody puts a comment into you, starting with the @ symbol and then your channel name, like here's Alice, then it would show up in orange for them to get their attention. I made you chuckle. Extra points. Did you really? I don't even remember what it was, so I'm not sure that it was significant enough to warrant that. Zavima Nord, do B-Link computers have BIOS updates at all? Yes, they do. They do. Let's see if Gemini will give us some detail about that without me actually going to B-Link's website. And I say they do with a 40% recollection that that's a yes. What? It's not at least 50%? And you're saying yes, at less than half confidence? Yes, B-Link does provide BIOS updates for their mini PCs. The process is not quite as seamless, automated as with larger manufacturers with Dell, HP, or Lenovo. Gee, didn't somebody recently mention those three as automatically having BIOS updates? Now, who was that? You generally won't find a built-in update app on a B-Link that does it all for you. Here's the reality. Finding the right update can be tricky. I think for the most part, the reason why you're going to be interested in updates, BIOS updates, is perhaps to support some newer hardware that's available that, like if you're upgrading the NVMe drive or you want to upgrade memory and they're now supporting more than what the computer was manufactured with. I'm not going to do that. I buy the computers the way that I want to put them in service. I put them in service and they just stay that way. The serial number check. They often restrict updates based on serial number on the bottom of the device. Finding the right update can be tricky. Okay, that's why I kind of skipped around there. That's why that didn't make sense. Therefore, the two SER8 EQI12 computers might require completely different BIOS files. Oh yeah, of course they are. They're different model computers. Same is true with the major name computers too. The BIOS updates can be specific to the model of the computer. The blog, B-Link posts monthly BIOS update summaries on their official blog. Oh, what's going on? I'm hitting the wrong key is what it is, because I don't do these live streams often enough. Whose fault is that, Doug? On their official blog with download links and tutorials with specific models, a serial number check, forms and support. If you cannot find your exact model and version on their blog, the most reliable way to get an update is to email their support or post the B-Link forum. I do not pursue BIOS updates unless I have a reason to pursue it. Manual update process, meaning download it and install it. Since you were just asking about the Microsoft Secure Boot, I got the right keystroke that time.
Please.
Certificate renewals, here's the good news. You might not need a B-Link BIOS update at all. Gee, didn't somebody recently just say that? Now, who was that? If Windows 11 is currently updating fine on your B-Link and your firmware isn't incredibly outdated, the Windows update process may be able to inject the new Microsoft certificates directly into your existing UEFI environment without requiring a full BIOS flash from B-Link. My advice, if your B-Link is running fine right now, let Windows handle its regular updates. Only go hunting for a B-Link BIOS update if Windows Update throws a specific secure boot error. Yeah, that would be a reason to do it. Didn't somebody just say they don't do it unless they have a reason to? Who was that? Explicitly releases an update for your exact serial number. Mentions secure boot keys, security patches. Yeah. All right, so let's go look at that last. Read chat, please. Is there a way to toggle the taskbar 11 hide, unhide, example hotkey WinT? Yeah, the taskbar Windows 11 hide, unhide. Okay, so Windows key T apparently hides the taskbar, I'm going to guess. So watch the bottom of my screen. Let's see if that's true. Nope. Hotkey WinT. No, I don't know what that's doing. But yeah, if you come down on the taskbar and right click and go to taskbar settings, and I think I understand what the question being asked, and it's in here somewhere, taskbar behaviors, I think is where it's at. Automatically hide taskbar. So if you put a check mark here, watch my taskbar at the bottom. If I stop moving my mouse, does it go away? Do I have to click on something else? I don't think I have to click. I don't think I have to close that window. I'm expecting the taskbar to go away. I haven't tried this in a long time. That didn't do much, did it? Taskbar behaviors. Somebody's going to give me the correction on this probably. Taskbar alignment center. Automatically hide the taskbar. Is there something else on here? What was the person referring to, the hiding of the little icons down here in the sys tray? Or was it the actual taskbar? My recollection is it was pretty quick about hiding. Show badges, flashing, taskbar and all displays, share new window, far corner, find taskbars. Seems like that should be the place to do it. Does it take longer for it to hide? Or does it have something to do with me showing the task, having the taskbar on all my monitors? Okay, so that didn't work, in my opinion. And that was Marsman. Did Marsman respond any
Read chat,
further?
please.
Like saying that I tried that, it didn't work. I meant a toggle to do this actual taskbar. There is no current hotkey. Accuterol. I'm not sure I'm with you yet. I meant a toggle to do this actual taskbar. There is no current hotkey. He wants the hotkey to do it instead of a menu. Yeah, Scott says it should go right away. Okay, so indicating he wants a hotkey toggle. Oh, example, Windows T. Yeah, he wants a hotkey. Oh, I see. He said the blind man to his wife, his deaf and dumb wife. He said, I heard that. That's not a mean joke. It's semantics. It's impossible for that to happen. Is there a way to toggle the taskbar, Windows 11, hide, unhide, as an example, hotkey? Well, let's see if artificial AI can understand this better than actual I. See, I am an AI, not artificial AI, but actual intelligence. Although some people, not mentioning any names, Ken Stout, will question that. Out of the box, Windows 11 does not have a native keyboard shortcut to toggle the taskbar's auto hide features. So
Read chat,
artificial
please.
intelligence did understand it. Jim says mentioned right off the bat. Yeah, I mentioned Jim right off the bat. What the fresh hell are we into now? He's engaged DVR double speed. He's back from lunch with his wife. Out of the box, Windows 11 does not have a native keyboard shortcut to toggle the taskbar's auto hide feature. By default, pressing Windows key T simply highlights the first app on your taskbar so you can open it with the Enter key. Okay, that's what I noticed that. If you watch my taskbar down at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the File Explorer is the first actual icon. Copilot doesn't qualify. Just Copilot is persona non grata as far as Windows is concerned, right? Because Copilot is the unwanted stepchild of Microsoft. So it doesn't count as being the first app on the taskbar. So when I press Windows key T, you'll see File Explorer. Whoops, no, it didn't. I thought it was File Explorer last time. Does it advance? Windows key T again? Oh, it goes back to Copilot. Windows key T again. File Explorer again. Edge again. Google Chrome, and then again and again and again, and it keeps going. Now, there is another technique, I don't know if it's still the case, where there was a hotkey sequence. I want to say it was maybe Windows key and the number 3, for instance, to launch the third icon on your taskbar. Now, I better, before I start jumping around, I better go check and be sure I'm not accidentally going to expose something that I shouldn't ought to be exposing by jumping around. Okay, so now let's try this. I don't know what it is. Windows key 2. Does that launch? Yeah, that launches the second app on the taskbar. Now, Alt F4 should close that window. Yes, it does. Windows key 6 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would be the Windows Store, it looks like. So Windows key 6. Yes, it opens the sixth item on the taskbar. And then Alt F4 should close that. So if there are things on your taskbar that you routinely open, you don't feel like reaching all the way over to the mouse, then Windows key and the number. Right? It was a Windows key, not Alt. Right? Was it Windows key or Alt? Now neither of them are working. Oh, there it is. QuickBooks. Take that off the screen. Yeah, though that was just slow to launch. That's why I didn't get an immediate reaction. And that's where Doug still has to be more careful. So Windows key and the number 3 should be Edge. Yes, Windows key. Do you think I'm going to remember that next time? Yeah, if you caught that quick little map that came up, that was the house that my family lived in where I was when I was born. I wasn't born in the house, but that's the house we were born in. So I will award points to someone in chat that comes up with a city name. First person. You got to do an exclamation mark C to get that points. How are you going to figure that out? I have shown you enough to get there. But yeah, you're still going to have to use some of your own cleverness. Okay, so what else did G-Mini say about that? The auto hotkey method. Okay, using auto hotkey. That means you have to have auto hotkey running in the background in order to have that to display the taskbar. Why not? Okay, see, I guess I don't understand the reason for it. Marsman, explain this to me. You want a keyboard hotkey to display the taskbar. Why do you want the taskbar displayed if it isn't simply to be able to move the mouse to an icon there and open something? If you're going to move the mouse anyway, why not use auto hide? Because as soon as you move your mouse down to the taskbar area, it's going to pop up. Why would you want the extra step of a hotkey and then presumably move your hand to the mouse to get to it, unless you're trying to see something that is just displayed on the taskbar, I suppose. Yeah, I'm curious about why you want that. I got 2 read chats to get to. Scrolling down looking for the next read chat. Let's see, that one was I meant. Oh, it jumped on me. There's that one. Okay, auto scroll. That way my eyes can just watch the bottom of the screen. John says, hold shift down, then click restart. Will get you to the UEFI dialog box to access your BIOS. Yeah, that's very commonly the way I prefer to do it. I'm familiar with that. Was that in relation to something that we've been... Yeah, holding shift down shift key and then clicking restart in Windows 11 and Windows 10 gets you advanced restart. So it'll get you a menu of choices. You have to make a couple of menu choices in order to, I think it's advanced and then UEFI BIOS, and then your computer will restart again and go straight into BIOS. So it's a little more than just shift and clicking restart, a little more to it. Oh, what are you freaking doing with that jump? John Williams. Yeah, he was guiding me to that. So I got that one. And then Jim saying BIOS updates can be important for vulnerabilities in motherboard firmware. I double dare you to show me any BIOS update for B-Link computers where that was the case. It could be. Let's see what. I know that to be the case for custom builds. Let's see, BIOS updates. Kenny, I'm going to ask here. What happened? Do you think that statement is true more substantially for custom computer motherboards as compared to computers such as Dell, HP, Lenovo, and B-Link? I don't have to correct the spelling of B-Link. I think I've already mentioned B-Link during this chat. Now, it can be important, but look at the statistics. Yeah, even if you look at, I challenge this. I haven't researched it. I challenge this though. Show me an environment where a BIOS update is judged as important for vulnerabilities, and then show me the statistics. How much was that vulnerability actually exploited worldwide? Worldwide, it can be considered a crisis to install this update when perhaps 0.001% of motherboards will actually experience the problem. It's not like a Chevrolet particular model car gets recalled due to a airbag issue. I think like in the automotive world, when they do some kind of recall dangerous issue, the percentages are, I think, much higher. Okay, so and that's I'm not an expert on that subject. I just want to be upfront and clear about that. You have hit on a really insightful distinction. Your premise is spot on. BIOS updates are critical for patching UEFI and firmware. Well, now wait a minute. It might be that Jim's comment was spot on, not mine. To answer your question directly, yes, the need to actively manage BIOS updates is substantially more critical for custom computer motherboards. Yes! Like those from Asus, MSI, or Gigabyte compared to mainstream pre-built like Dell, HP, Lenovo. However, it's not necessarily because custom boards are built with weaker security. It comes down to attack surface, how updates are delivered, and who is responsible. Here is a breakdown of why custom motherboards make BIOS security a much bigger, more manual priority. Yeah, this was just my impression. A larger attack surface. Custom motherboards are designed to appeal.
Read chat, please.
To enthusiasts. That read chat was from Marsman. Says, I will try to get an email to you for next week to further explain why I would like to toggle taskbar to hide unhide. Apparently it's complicated. Like my teenage daughter, I ask her, what's going on between you and your friend? Why you're not your best friend? You're not hanging out much together. And she says, Dad, it's complicated. You're too old to understand. Adults are too simple-minded to understand the complex relationships of teenagers. Marsman has a complicated reason for wanting a hotkey to display the taskbar. I'm looking forward to that email. Please do send it. Custom motherboards are designed. Don't be offended by me making a little fun, trying to be a little entertaining here. Don't mean nothing by it. Custom motherboards are designed to appeal to enthusiasts. They are packed. Yes, they are packed with extra features. Yes, absolutely. Third-party storage controllers, custom RGB lighting firmware, complex overclocking tools, custom boot logos. Did you know, for example, custom RGB lighting firmware, if a persistent hacker were seriously enough interested, they could hack your custom build computer into the RGB and emit dangerous light, X-ray type lights that can be harmful to you. No. Okay, I got to stop right there. No. Science fiction. No. Overclocking. Yeah, it's going to make your CPU so hot it's going to burn down your house. Yeah, some people may say that's not so far. It might damage the computer. Custom risk. Every extra line of code in BIOS is potential vulnerability. Yeah, so the code, when you go look at a custom BIOS, all these menu options, crazy. And with different labeling. But everyone is a potential vulnerability. For example, recently researchers discovered logo fail, a vulnerability where hackers could hide malware inside the custom boot image files used by major motherboard vendors. Custom boards also often feature built-in internet updater tools inside the BIOS itself, which have occasionally been exposed as having backdoor-like vulnerabilities. The OEM reality. Dell, HP, Lenovo, especially their business lines, heavily lock down their BIOS. They strip out the bells and whistles to create a standardized minimal firmware environment, which inherently reduces the number of ways a hacker can get in. That's, I think, a significant reason to not install custom build computers in business environment. They don't need all of that extra fluff. Yeah, there's arguments on the positive side and on the negative side. Obviously, you know that I'm not a builder. Do not install custom builds in my clients' offices. I do have some clients who have custom builds in their offices. They were put in place before they hired me. And some of them have been replaced by these $300 B-Link computers, and they are happy with that. They are, I'm not sure I enunciated that very clearly. They are happy with the inexpensive computers by comparison to these big custom build tanks of computers. Delivery mechanism, manual versus automatic. The biggest practical difference of vulnerability is only dangerous if it goes unpatched. Custom motherboards. If an exploit is discovered for an ASUS or MSI board, you are entirely on your own. So a custom builder who is putting custom build computers into an office should be keeping records as to what computers are in those offices. So if a particular vulnerability comes out that is causing percentage-wise, statistically significant problems worldwide, then you probably want to be able to find those computers and go update them before you get in trouble. That last read chat, please, was John Downey asking, are the BIOS on the B-Link PC locked down like Dell? Well, yes, in the sense that they don't have all the fluff settings. They are pretty simple. Is lockdown like Dell? So what did they say about the lockdown? heavily locked down their BIOS. Strip out, so what does it mean by locked down? They strip out the bells and whistles to create a standardized minimal firmware environment. Yeah, they are very minimal. There's not much you can do to customize or enhance. You're not going to find overclocking options, I don't think, on a B-Link computer. I have plenty of them here. We could go explore that if you want to. Or we could just ask Gemini. Let's see, where was I at here? Oh, you can pull my attention somewhere else once you get tired of this subject. If an exploit is discovered for an ASUS or MSI motherboard, you are entirely on your own. You have to read the news, realize you are vulnerable, go to the manufacturer website, download the BIOS file to a USB drive, flash it manually. Because this process is intimidating, many PC owners never update their BIOS, leaving them permanently vulnerable. Now, if you have an MSP model and you've been installing custom build computers under the premise that they're easy to upgrade later on, that's fine. And your clients are on management contracts, so you are checking. I believe, since Kerry Holzman is around here often, my substantial recollection, is that he does that. He manages the PCs that he has under contract and does the updates when they're needed. OEMs, which are upstanding, responsible thing to do. OEMs, Dell, HP, Lenovo, these companies have automated pipelines. When a severe firmware vulnerability is discovered, they package the BIOS update and push it directly through their Windows Update or their own pre-installed support apps. Yeah, I have seen that. I frequently will look at the names of the updates that are coming through. Now, sometimes the BIOS updates are under optional updates, but I've seen them also come through standard updates, not optional. I've seen BIOS updates happen as not optional on manufactured computers. So I would think the ones that come as optional updates are optional because maybe they are for supporting some additional hardware that's available that the original BIOS did not support, or some other increased capabilities that not everybody needs. But when it's a security issue, it's more likely going to happen without being optional. The average user gets patched automatically upon restarting their PC without even knowing what a BIOS is. Yeah. Seen it happen. The shared Silicon reality, it's worth noting that for the biggest, most newsworthy vulnerabilities, everyone is equally at risk. Major security flaws like recent sync close vulnerability, or sync close, don't know yet, and for AMD processors, and I've not been a fan of AMD processors, just because I like, what is it, the devil I know. Or Intel's various microcode bugs happen at the CPU chipset level because both a custom gaming rig and a Dell Office PC use the exact same Intel AMD processors. They both require a BIOS update to fix the flaw. The difference simply comes down to the fact that Dell will force the fix onto your machine, while a custom motherboard waits patiently for you to do it yourself. As we discussed earlier, your B-Link sits in a weird middle ground. It is a pre-built PC, but because they are a smaller manufacturer, they handle updates more like a custom motherboard, meaning you carry the burden of keeping an eye out on their updates. Yeah, there's less likely that it's going to come through automatically. Are you currently managing a custom PC build that you worry about, or are you just weighing the security pros and cons of building your own systems? I'm running a live YouTube show. That's what I'm doing. I'm not doing either of those things that you imagined I might be doing. Reason why I might be asking the question. Now, there have been times when I have specifically gone to a custom build PC for clients. I can think of two specifically where I wanted to try custom built computers for clients who were very intensely into Dragon Naturally Speaking. And I wanted a higher end computer for them. We could have got a higher end computer on the manufactured lines, but we tried custom build. In those two instances, I did not build the computers myself. We actually bought them from a custom PC builder on the coast of California. They came shipped, they're big computers. They came shipped in these wood framed boxes that were capable of being lifted by a forklift. I think they got delivered probably by a hand truck. And I think I'd probably disassembled the wood frame and the plastic around it, sitting at the same spot where it came in, where it got delivered. I did not wind up being very impressed with them. And like I mentioned, I've also had some clients that I've inherited or that have come to me after they already had custom builds. One of my clients who's a big Dragon Naturally Speaking, we bought a high-end Dell computer for him. And he's unlikely to get replaced with a mini computer. I don't feel attracted to high-end processors in mini computers because I want the larger box for heat management and for a dedicated graphics card, a real graphics card. I know the mini computers have dedicated graphics card in them, but I haven't researched them, but I just do not feel inclined to do a high-end mini computer. I like the low-end mini computers because most of my end users, they're using word processing, simple spreadsheets. The ones that have what they think is complex spreadsheets, they're still simple. They're not massive numbers of rows and columns with tons of engineering formulas in them. They might have massive number of rows in a database or even columns. That's still a low-end spreadsheet. They're using web applications. They're using, maybe they have the client software of a server client system that's set up. They don't need the higher end computers, and it's not going to be much difference in performance. Now, I was wondering, I was exploring
Read
the
chat,
idea.
please.
Let's see, that was Jim saying most office boxes don't need much more than ANI 5 or Ryzen 5. AMD maybe is what he meant. AMD 5 or whatever. Yeah. My office clients are very happy with 12th, 13th gen N95, N100, N150. Jim said Intel or AMD. Oh, I guess i5. Oh, with AI5. That's what he meant. It's ANI5. It was AI5. Intel i5. That's what he's saying. That's overkill. And these mini computers, I've tried the i5s and they got more fan noise and more heat. And they just were not more impressive at all in performance. In fact, I had, and I've told you this story a few times, I had a B-Link i5 on a client's desk. He had been using it for a couple of months. And then we played musical chairs with their computers because the security chief in the office, who does a lot of security video, needed an emergency computer swap out because his computer died. So what I did, I had the N95 or N100, whatever, the low end at the time that I had one on hand. So what I did, I took the i5 that was on this user's desk that was just doing, basic office software and web applications. I took that computer and put it in service for the security chief. And I put in N95, I think was what I was using at the time, onto that standard user's desk. He did not notice any difference whatsoever. I told him, I asked him to pay attention. He knew that I was going to do the swap over the weekend. On Friday, he was using the i5. On Monday, he was using the N95. He could not tell the difference. So, yeah, that's my evidence. Maybe if I were to have both computers and with the same image, back up and restore image across these computers. It works so easy, B-link to B-link. And test how long it takes to open the applications that he uses. Test how long it takes to open documents, spreadsheets. How long does it take to sign into the web application? That's their primary application that they use. I suspect there might have been a measurable difference, but not a perceptible difference. I think I finished all of this, right? Yeah, I did. Okay. Take a couple breaths. Oh, security breaches. Is anybody at all interested in the 2 security issues I came across this week? I'm not security issues, but breaches. Something went wrong. Something went wrong. There were consequences. If you don't want to hear the story, I'm not going to tell the story. I think, did I? No, somebody's just
Read
going
chat, please.
out of just out of what? Compliance. Say, yeah. They're going to pretend that they want to know. Well, let's see. That read chat. John Downey says, yes. There he is. Yes, we want it. Oh, and I had a weird one myself. This is an Amazon story, but that's not a security issue. So I have a weird Amazon story also. And let's see what this one. Okay, here's I sent an email to myself with some screenshots for one of these. And I'm just taking a look at these screenshots. I was trying to prevent identifiable information from coming through, but I see now that I wasn't quite perfect about that. So that part is okay to show. Down here is not so much okay to show. Just shows a little bit of a client specific name. So is the rest of that important? Oh, I know I can describe those pieces. Okay, so I know how to deal with that. And then let's get this zoomed bigger in so I can show it. Not removed or stored. I might not need to show all of this. Okay. All right. So here comes the story. My client started with a text from my client. I say that as though I only have one client. Scrolling down, trying to, where is she? Oh, wow. I know I've had texts from her after that. I thought it started from a text. Maybe I'm wrong. All right, I'll speak from my recollection. Because yeah, that's a safe thing to do. Such a good memory. Yeah, my client says, I did something yesterday. I clicked on something and I regretted it right away. Is this sounding like an email from her? And can you connect to my computer? Sometime you said, she said, things are all messed up. Can you connect to my computer and fix it? It happened yesterday. She said, I knew right away I shouldn't have clicked on that. She's usually pretty good about not clicking on things. Oh yeah, here it is. It's an email. Okay, so I'm going to read it to you. Can't show it to you. So yesterday, so many people start with this. So yesterday, I opened an email, and as soon as I clicked on the link, I instantly regretted it and wondered what happened. Today, my computer looks different. When you get time, all caps for the word time, T-I-M-E, when you get time, can you log on and take a look around and see what happened? I suspect it installed something I'm not aware of. I went through my apps and saw that OneDrive was installed yesterday. I uninstalled it, but not sure what else might be lingering around. I'm sorry. I know you don't have time for this. Some of my clients are just dear, it's overly considerate people, thinking I don't have time to deal with a computer problem. It's literally my job. Sweet woman. She's been a client for a long time. So at this point, I'm thinking, she uninstalled OneDrive. OneDrive is important on her computer. Well, sometimes OneDrive will do that. You'll get a OneDrive update, and in appwiz.cpl, it'll change the installation date to show the actual date of the update for the OneDrive program. So no, don't want to do that. She usually calls me right away. I know what was going on here is that she was, I know that she was feeling embarrassed because sometimes she does think she gets busy. She's a very busy woman, highly productive person, and she'll have an oops. So I called her within minutes of the email coming in, because I saw the email come in on my phone, a notification for it, and connected. She did happen to be at her office at the time. I connected remotely to her computer and started poking around. It turns out that it was not OneDrive she uninstalled. I went to look right away. Her OneDrive was active and up to date. There was a red X on it because there was one file that was having a glitch. So I fixed that pretty quickly and simply. So she did not uninstall OneDrive. And when I started mentioning it, that OneDrive is supposed to be on your computer, then she corrected herself a little bit. Well, it did actually say OneDrive. It was one something. So that was just a mistake. So I went into notifications. There was a notification from a Windows Defender. So I'm going to bring up a screenshot of what I found in Windows Defender. And this is, I haven't, scripted the description of this story, so it might bounce around a little bit. Let's see if I've got this. Yeah, let's do that zoom level here. So here's a screenshot of Windows Defender. It's pasted into an email to myself. There is some content on this email down lower that I don't want to display.
Read chat, please.
That read chat, please, was Jim saying 12:03 in chat for him. So scrolling back, some clients can't live. You can't live with them. You can't kill them. So this is threat found, action needed, severe threat. And it came to a computer 2 days ago at 4:40 p.m. for that one. This one, threat quarantined a little bit earlier, showing severe. And down here, Trojan, Win32, Kepav, there's VLL exclamation mark RFN. Quarantined files in restricted area where they can't harm your device. They will be removed automatically. Down here, this program is dangerous and execute commands from an attacker. Let's see, can I scroll? No, those symbols there are part of the email. I can't scroll away from them. If I scroll down a little bit, it shows affected items on my next screenshot, and it gives a file name, and it's from the C:users folder, then the profile folder. So it's the profile folder name I don't want to display. /appdata/local/OB /1B update /1B update service. So that's where she came up with OneDrive, is the word 1B. The name of this infected file is 1B update service. That's what she uninstalled. She actually found that as an installed app on the date of this incident. So she uninstalled that. Fine, that worked good, but it's the infection, the file is still present. There's still an executable file on the computer that has that. Now, I'm realizing here the folder name structure, OB, there's a / 1B, update. OB1 Kenobi? Is that the folder name OB is part of this? I don't know if that's a standard Windows folder. I doubt it. And then also there was a file in the system32/tasks folder called 1B update, and a process start code number, whatever that is, and a couple registry keys for, looks like they would, they would launch scheduled tasks, also named 1B update. So this was an actual infection. Windows Defender caught it and did not completely remove it. so what I did then is in the, when you click on these, let's see, click, next to this here was a expansion arrow like this one here. This one is expanded. And then down in the next section where the affected items are, there's an actions button, and you click on that and you get the choice of restore or remove. And I removed both of those. And then here's a weird thing, another screenshot that I can show. This is a weird thing in the process. After I removed each of these, here's how they appeared in Windows Defender. Threat removed or restored. And it gives the name of that threat. So it's informing me that it has been removed or restored. I don't understand. I don't, what? So I click to remove it, and Windows Defender is responding with telling me that it has removed it or restored it. Somebody was hallucinating when they came up with that verbiage. Oh, okay, here. The menu option, there was an option for restore and there was an option for remove. I chose remove. So it was a lazy programmer that is going to respond to that saying that, okay, we have removed it or restored it based upon whichever menu choice you took. It would be too expensive for us to custom design a separate message that says it was removed and an additional message that says it was restored. That's extra work. We're not going to do that because we can't afford to do that extra work. Right? Yeah. The project leader on that should have been fired. Phil Stodd says we are all confused. Jeff Ryman says they saved 5 or 6 words in memory.
Read chat, please.
Why? That project team should have all been laid off. That means it's no longer in the quarantine. The patient is either alive or dead, just not admitted anymore. Checks in the mail. Oh, the magic mushrooms. I've always hated the structure of Windows Defender since Windows 10. Of course, carried over to Windows 11. It's just horrible. Very confusing to use. Greg M., this alert could be a false positive. I've lost count how many times I've seen an antiviral app quarantine something due to updates. Based upon what you know so far, yeah, it could be, but no, it was not.
Read
because
chat, please.
The computer was still misbehaving. It had already, it had done its damage. Now that infection says that allows the attacker to execute commands. It appears that the attacker did execute commands. Now, most likely this was an automated attack, not somebody sitting at a keyboard and mouse actually trying to do something, because what they did was far too minor. But what they did is they did 2 things, because there were 2 things that I had to manually clean up. Removing the infection did not fix the 2 things that were problematic. One problem was the new browser tab on Google Chrome had changed to some kind of an adware. So it had different quick links on the new tab page. Then my client's customized quick links. So her quick links were gone. And those were all bringing up other adware stuff. Clearly, somebody getting advertisements. And the second vulnerability was that the second thing that I was saying was done was actually a different client. So I was getting these two convoluted. It was just this one thing about the new tab. So what we did was reset the browser. And when we reset the browser, it reverted back. Now, the other thing they had done is it turned off her bookmarks because the new tab no longer had her bookmarks bar. So I turned on the bookmarks bar. All her bookmarks were still there, but her quick links were still missing. So then when I reset the Chrome browser, her quick links came back, all still present, which is a little bit surprising. I would have expected that level of browser reset to go back to would wipe out her quick links, but I guess the quick links would be part of the bookmarks configuration. So that makes sense. So resetting the browser resets to default settings for, I think, the website permissions and cache, clears out your cache. So that's the other thing that had to be cleaned up. So I think that fairly well covers that experience. I'm looking through my other screenshots there. Yeah, Windows Defender cleaned up the scheduled tasks and removed the file that allows the attacker to execute instructions. And it appears that the instructions that they executed were to basically put adware into Chrome browser. All right, now let's see the next one. Oh, maybe, do you want to know how much time I spent resolving that? I'm pulling up my QuickBooks Online to see, because I don't know offhand. But of course, everything I did on that was billable time. I start the time at the beginning of the session, end the time at the end of the session, and then whatever my current hourly rate is for that client, which I raised my rates January 1st, and then all my clients get the same rate. So let's see, I guess what I'll do is I'll go start a new invoice and I'll put in that client's company name. And that'll bring all my time slips for that client in place. I don't know if it was all one sitting or if I had two sessions. I don't think it would have gone over two sessions. So then I'm looking at the time slips. Oh yeah, there was two because I also had tried a system restore to trying to get back to the Chrome, but system restore doesn't do Chrome browsers settings. Let's see, 3.5. Oh, okay, so there's two time slips on March 5th. So there was, I put in a start time and an end time for each of these. So the computer calculates the length of time. So the first time slip was 0.26664 of an hour. That one was $33.33. The second one was 0.56664 of an hour. So that was $70.83. So that totaled $104 and 13 cents. Not a huge cost. And the reading of the time slips. Let's see. Phone and remote support regarding computer not operating properly after clicking an email link yesterday. Performed system restore to 1:06 p.m. yesterday. That was the first time slip. So that was before I had done the reset of the browser. I would have been better if I went there first, but I didn't. Then the second time slip, phone and remote support after system restore completed, problem symptoms still present, located 2 severe infections identified by Windows Defender, kept valve, exclamation mark, RFN, contained in 1B update service.exe and a registry entry, quarantined both of them, removed them, resulting in normal Google Chrome performance and restoration of quick links. Oh, I neglected to mention the Chrome browser reset. That's okay. Yeah, I'm not going to sweat that. So leave that invoice without saving it. Now, would anything about a proactive maintenance of computers prevented that? No, because this was the client clicking on a link. Okay. Next story. Get back to, there's no emails stored on this issue. Oh, I know what I'll do is I'll bring up the, I'll do an invoice for this client to bring up the time slips. That'll help me remember. This one was more severe.
Read chat, please.
John Downey says, Doug, that's a fair rate you are charging. Yeah, you, rate. Oh, you saw the, I said, I gave the decimal number of the charge and the dollar amount. So what is my hourly rate? Did you calculate it, John Downey? What was my hourly rate on that? I don't think I've very many times told you what my new hourly rate is. I think I told you what I was contemplating changing to. I don't know if I ever told you what I changed to. John Downey says, yes, approximately. Oh, I asked, did he calculate it? He says, yes, he did, approximately. He's not telling me what it is. I didn't even tell any of my clients that I have changed my rate. Nobody's made comment about it yet. There's been a few invoices that have gone out, and I also enabled online payments, so my clients can do online payments now. And I was very, very impressed with QuickBooks Online, and you have heard me complain about QuickBooks Online, but the online payment process is really pretty good. I had one client, though, that ran into a problem because she asked if she could make a partial payment. I said yes. And then she said, how do I do it? And I told her, well, just click on the review and pay button and then put in the new amount. She clicked on the review and pay button on a different screen than I realized she was at, and it paid the full amount. In her case, it was $4,700 that her invoice was. And she had put in her bank checking account before clicking that button. Well, she was supposed to. She was further along in the process than what she told me. So she missed the place where you can edit the payment amount. You got to do that before putting in your payment method. I offered to refund the money to her, but she says, already taken out of my checking account. I said, well, I can send you a check if it's a problem. She says, no, I'll make it work. Okay, so here's, this issue was March 4th and 5th. So this was happening on the same shared date. What the other one I told you about was March 5th. So this one began on March 4th and carried over to March 5th. They contacted me. Let's see if I can give you the original contact. So March 5th, that would have been what, Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. Words of my text messages are on the top. I think this one probably came through on a text. But it started on Wednesday. No, I don't see the text on Wednesday. Did it come in as a voicemail? No. Ah. No. Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday. Yeah, so apparently it came in as a phone call and I answered it, so I can't read you anything. I have to remember. 19-minute phone call was the first call on this at 8:29 a.m. They arrived in the office and had a bunch of emails kicked back on 2 of their computers. So 2 of their email addresses had a bunch of emails kicked back as undeliverable. The body of the email was an invitation to an event. And as a matter of fact, I didn't find out until I completely cleaned the thing up that I received one of them. But my Gmail automatically filtered that to spam. So I didn't even realize that I had received it. So let's see if I can actually show you what email had been sent out. Here it is. The description of the email gives a first and last name of the sender, which was my client. First, last name, I'll say Ken Stout. Sent you an invitation letter. And then in the body, let me see if I can scroll away from that, hide that part, and show you. Oh, as a matter of fact, I remember showing you now on another episode, one of these. No, I can't. In the body, it says it's identified as Punch Bowl as the service. And I remember showing you that I had an email from a client that had an invitation to Punch Bowl. And I thought it might be a thank you note or something. And no, it was a phishing email. So it says Punch Bowl. Then it says save the date. Please click on the save the date to see more details. So there is a link down lower that said that the name of the link is open your save the date. And I'm not going to click on that. And when I highlight the mouse over it, float the mouse over it, down in the bottom left corner, it has the .com is a bunch of gibberish, gibberish letter, sendibm3.com. So the domain name is sendibm3.com, and then a bunch of other stuff after that. So clicking on that is going to get me into some kind of a phishing something or other. And they may, if I click on that, they may or may not track the IP address that it's coming from and put that on another list. Here's a computer that clicks on suspicious links or clicks on links. So try this destination for other things. Anyway, so that had been sent out to a whole bunch of email addresses. Well, a lot of the email addresses that they sent to were no longer valid, so those bounced back as undeliverable. Their sent items folder did not show any of the sent items emails. Not the sent items folder. Okay, so what we're figuring at this point is that the email account is compromised. And they told me that they already changed the password on these two users' emails, but it's still happening. It has happened again. So I tell them, well, it's not sufficient to just change the password. Because if the person already has access to your email account, then they already have a session token. They stay logged into it. Yeah, so they can continue utilizing even if you've changed the password. Depending upon the level of compromise they have of your computer, they might have observed the new password that you put in, for that matter too. So what we need to do is turn on two-factor authentication and change the password and kick out all active sessions. If you don't kick out all active sessions, then you still haven't done enough. You might turn on two-factor authentication and change the password, but if the criminals still have an active session, they can still do their stuff. You got to kick out all of the active sessions other than the one that you're currently in. Now, when we want to try to implement two-factor authentication, there was a complication. Now, this client, somebody else implemented their email accounts. I did not implement their email accounts, and they are strictly a client who is fee for services, meaning they request me to do something, and I do it. They do not. I've made recommendations to them along the way that they don't take me up on, so I do not treat them as a managed client. Now, I told you I don't operate with the traditional MSP model, yet I am kind of an MSP for some of my clients, because some of my clients, I do what needs to be done and just charge them for it. I don't even talk to them about it in many cases. In some implementations, I will talk to them up front about it and offer them something. But if I see something that I judge needs to be done, they've made it clear that they trust me to level. Just do it. So I do it. I put the detailed information of what I've done and charge them for it. This is not one of those. So anyway, it's a Google managed domain, and two-factor authentication has not been enabled for the domain. So we can't turn on two-factor authentication for the user. So I connect remotely to them, and I'm working on the phone. We've got two of their trusted employees involved with this, and I'm teaching them how to implement the two-factor authentication and explain to them, you need to do this for all of the accounts, because if we do it just for the two accounts that are currently compromised, the bad people, the criminals, know that you're standards are relaxed, so they're just going to move laterally to one of your other accounts, and the passwords were not only were they not complex, well, they were complex. They had a mix of uppercase, lowercase, letters and numbers and symbols, but they were short. And a lot of them had the same password, because whoever set them up set a default password, and the people did not change their passwords. So we had to go through and fix the domain, the managed Google domain, to allow the people to do two-factor authentication. There's an option in there to enforce two-factor authentication. Well, we can't turn that on until we get two-factor authentication active for the email account. So we can't leave it on, because what happens if you enforce two-factor authentication and you have accounts that don't have two-factor authentication already configured, when those people try to go to sign in, they're not going to be able to sign in order to configure their two-factor authentication. So you have to turn two-factor authentication off, sign in as the user that does not have two-factor authentication yet, and have that user enable two-factor authentication for their account, and then change their password. Do that for all of the accounts, which there are about 30 or 40
Read chat,
of them.
please.
30 or 40 of them. Then you can go back and enforce two-factor authentication, so that any of the accounts that don't have it, the criminals will not be able to sign into them. We knew we were not going to get these all configured in one sitting. So the plan was to process the ones that you can on a particular day, and then enforce two-factor authentication. And then when you're going to go do another session of these, turn off that enforcement and do your next batch of these. That last read chat, please. Ken Stout says, how does a new viewer get permission to chat? They can put a comment on any of my videos asking for permission, or Ken Stout has capability, but this isn't going to get permission to chat. Ken Stout could turn off, he is a super moderator. He could use he has to do this on his cell phone, as I understand. He could turn off the, what's the thing called that we have? He knows the setting. He could turn it off. Now, all that's going to do is that's going to allow people who have not been approved for chat to be able to chat, but I will not be able to give them chat authority. So really the way to do it is to put a comment on any video. That's the best way to do it. So I'll go check and see if anyone has asked for that through a comment on a video. That's the best way to do it. Yeah, Ken Stout, if you turn off that feature now, that only works for this video, and I will not be able to make them an approved chat room participant by virtue of doing that. That'll just let them chat as long as we have that feature turned off. Let's see, it's over here, right? This is it. This is the feature I'm talking about, live commentary mode, which means only approved users can chat. So Ken Stout has the capability of turning that off, or I can turn that off by clicking anyone and then save that, which means right now anyone can chat. And you just got a message on screen that says live commentary mode off. Everyone can send messages. So if there's someone out there right now that Ken Stout was trying to get approved, well, you can chat right now, but until you put a comment on one of my videos asking for chat approval, I can't approve you for a chat. Scott says approved for chat. Now see all these that are in blue, those are moderators. So here it is, Unbothered Avocado. He's just able to chat now. And he says, thank you very much. So the procedure, the whole thing, the only reason why we do this, the only reason why I do this I'm going back to live commentary mode. It's a weird, stupid name. Live commentary mode. The only reason I do that is because it reduces the amount of trolls. So here's another way I can deal with this though. I do a wee little bit of investigation because there are certain earmarks of a troll that are recognizable. And I'm able to do a little investigation to see if a person has those earmarks of being a troll. And this person does not have those earmarks. So here's another way to handle this. Unbothered Avocado. What I can do over here is I can make you a moderator, standard moderator, and click save. So now I don't have to go through making you an approved user. You will be able to chat from now and forevermore into the future. Unbothered Avocado says, I did ask permission on one of your videos. I apologize. I thought I'd been very diligent at finding those. It could be if you included something in that comment that YouTube flagged as red, yellow flag, maybe, that it wouldn't have shown up. Yeah, because they changed the way held comments appear. Oh, I see. No, okay, Unbothered did just 2 minutes ago. Oh, okay, that's what Unbothered said. She did that. According to the profile picture, Unbothered does appear to be female. So I will do that and say, welcome aboard. So it was not one that I missed. Glad to have you. And she's interacting with Ken. So I'm going to assume that Ken was the one, he makes reference to she. She was the one that Ken was asking for. Now, oftentimes Ken says asking for a friend. I didn't see that this time. So maybe he hasn't quite risen to the level of friend. Yes, you said he, so I was helping out. Oh, because I said he somewhere along the way. All right, so watch this. Ken Stout Live. Since you got somebody else introduced here, I'm going to throw you some 1,000 points. How about we do that again? At Ken Stout and throw you another 1,000 points. And how about we do another thing here? Unbothered avocado. See, unbothered avocado, you're in blue now. Now, bad, but I don't ask you to perform moderator functions. You're in blue. It just says we know you and recognize you as not being a troll. Unbothered gets points just for coming aboard. Wow. And how about more points for being unbothered? Unbothered for helping out with the gender disparity on my channel. You're very welcome to be here. Oh, and I got a notification on my phone saying that Unbothered Avocado has asked for permission to chat. I always have avocados in my fridge, and they don't bother me. We have 15 minutes to go. Have I missed anything? Ken Stout says she is good people. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Jim says, sounds like the place to be for guacamole. Yeah. Why is guacamole? It's some kind of dance or something. Oh, Doug, don't do that. Are there any other topics I need to get to? Told you about the, oh yeah, the Amazon. I had a frustrating thing that happened with Amazon where I had ordered some carpet runners for my house because I'm tired of taking off my shoes to walk across my white carpet. And I had ordered a few of them, 5 of them, I think. And 2 of them came, 3 of them came, and the others had not come yet. And so I went to check on them, and they just said not delivered yet with no delivery date. And I went and clicked on them to see if I could reorder them. And yeah, I could reorder them and they would come tomorrow. But they're about $7 more each. So it just bugged me that, okay, they have inventory. They're not sending them because they've got a higher price now. And it feels like they want me to give up on those ones that are at the cheaper price. So I start poking around, seeing how do I contact Amazon for this, and I get to a place where it's request a phone call, request Amazon to call me back. So I did that, and they called back right away, very quickly. And I told them, look, this thing's available now. I can order it. It'll come tomorrow, but it just feels creepy because it's $7 more. And it feels like a bait and switch where they offered it at this lower price, but they're not going to send it to me. Now they're counting on me wanting it so bad that I'll cancel the order that I have and reorder it. And this just feels creepy and misleading and bait and switch. So she says, well, I can cancel the order for you and place a new order. And then after you get the new ones in, we can give you a refund for the lower amount. So you mean I've got it, this means I have to order them at the higher price and then contact you again afterwards to get the refund. Normally I don't like taking my time to deal with these small dollar amounts. It just, I was in a foul mood, I guess, and it irked me, and I just, I went after it. And then she said I was going to get an email in regards to this. Now we're coming up to the problem. I haven't actually got to the problem yet. The thing that I'm actually complaining about, I mean, what I've told you already is enough of a complaint. But I'm expecting to receive an email regarding this, right? This was 2 days ago. This is on the same day that I'm dealing with those other client issues that I just described. I did not get any email about the issue that I just described. Here's the email I got from Amazon. And looks like I can show this to you. With the subject line. All right, here we go. Remember, keep in mind, the issue is we canceled the carpet runners that had not been delivered and ordered the ones at the higher price, and I'm supposed to be able to contact them for a refund afterward. She told me that she documented my account. Now I'm going to get an email confirming this. Here's what I get. Subject line, your two-step verification request. No reply at Amazon was where it comes from. Hello, we have received your request to disable the two-step verification function in your account. To proceed with your request, go to the Amazon website and make sure that you are logged out of your account. Scroll to the bottom of the page and click Help. In the Help library search bar, type Recover Your Account after two-step verification fails. Open the article and click Two-Step Verification Account Recovery. You will be required to upload a scanned copy or a photo of a valid government-issued ID. For example, okay, I'm going to take this off screen and see if I zoom in, because I realize that's difficult for you to read. For example, you can upload a driver's license or passport to confirm that your account recovery request is legitimate. Tips while uploading a document. When uploading a document, make sure to cover, conceal, or remove any sensitive information, like account, social security numbers. When uploading a document, make sure to cover, conceal, or remove any sensitive information, like your home address or your name. Sensitive. They want me to upload a valid government-issued ID, but don't reveal any sensitive information. Birth date? Make sure your name and the issuing authority are visible. If you're going to provide us with a driver's license, make sure to use the front side. The front contains your name for us to verify your identity. Can I contact customer service for further information? Customer service can confirm this email is legitimate and help with any technical issues. However, they cannot reverse this action or provide additional details about it. If you request the two-step verification disable, follow the steps mentioned above in this email. How can I verify this email is from Amazon? If you're unsure about the email claiming to be from Amazon, you can go directly to Amazon and sign into your account. If there's an issue, you see recovery instructions there. You can also check your message center for any recent communications from Amazon. Oh, you know that thing where a teacher that has a sense of humor would give this test to the students? The first one says, read all the instructions before proceeding. And the last one at the bottom says, only do item 5. Don't do the rest. Well, here, for more security tips, visit Security and Privacy. If you have not requested to disable two-step verification on your Amazon account, you can ignore this email. after reading through all that, I have not made the request. Now, what I'm thinking when I get this, I'm thinking that this person that I was talking with, who is questionably competent. She seemed competent, but yet there were some clues. Did she do the wrong click somewhere? And instead of actually canceling the prior order, she somehow disabled two-step authentication on my account. I want two-step authentication. So when I see this, I drop what I'm doing. I open an incognito window and I try to sign into my Amazon account, and it performs a two-step verification.
Read chat, please.
Jim says, "You expect people to completely read something? Are you insane?" See, you might not have noticed, but there was some of this stuff that occurred to me that I don't know that I really read it all. It was sufficient to see this. You requested two-step, disabled two-step. I said, no. So I went, probably without reading all that, to see if two-step authentication was still turned on. Yeah, it did. It was. So then additionally, I went into my account security settings on Amazon and saw the slider switch that two-step verification is turned on. Then I go check on the prior order. This was infuriating.
Read chat, please.
After getting through this, I took a break and went and had a beer. That last read chat, please. John Williams saying, that happened to us when we went to pick up our tax return this week. Scroll all the way to the bottom and sign form from their office. Oh yeah, when you get a digital something or other and it has a next button or a done or a complete or finish, but it's grayed out, you can't select it until you scroll all the way down, pretending that you have read it all. And down at the bottom, maybe there's a checkbox that you have to click on. Sometimes there's not a checkbox. You just have to scroll down and then the button becomes available for you to click on. But what happened when I went and checked on the prior order, she was supposed to have canceled. Not only did she cancel it, she disappeared it. You know, like CIA might do for a person that is troublesome. She disappeared the orders. So I can no longer show the price that I had previously ordered it at. So now, in order to accomplish this, I had to place the order at the higher price while I was on the phone with her. And then she disappeared the prior order, so I no longer have evidence that it used to be at a lower price or that I ordered it at a lower price. I know about that website thing that can, whatever that cutesy little word that you can see the prior prices for an item. That last read chat was Mars Man saying, I would have had 2 or 3 bears, LOL. Instead of drinking beer, he eats bears. I know, maybe it was speech to text or typo. He meant beers. Ken Stout saying, I would go with beers rather than bears. Just saying. Yeah, so this saga is not over. When the new runners arrive, which is supposed to be today, you know, the order, when I went to look at them, they said they could arrive tomorrow, which would have been yesterday. But when I actually placed the order, it said that they would arrive on Saturday. So today's Saturday. So assuming they arrive today, then tomorrow I can check to see what price I was actually charged. Actually, I could see that now, I guess. And then I have to recontact them to get the lower price, but I don't have evidence of the lower price. So I'm relying upon her claim that she made notes on my account, which I don't have evidence of because she did not send me an email confirming that. Ken says, you might get them on Tuesday. And then he would gladly pay me for a hamburger on Tuesday. He would pay me on Thursday. A bear burger, not a hamburger, a bear burger. It's barely will fill you. I can't bear this anymore. It's almost time to quit. We're barely there. Scott says, LOL. Ken Stout, very nice. He's complimenting my jokes. My dad puns. Hammond, Indiana Bears. Would it be in the order confirmation email? I'll check on that. No, that's not a laugh out loud. Come on. Let's see, to get the order confirmation, seems like I did look at that. Amazon. They're called Purr rugs. Arriving tomorrow. See, I don't even remember what the price was. Let's see, it looks like I can show you this email. The only evidence I have of what I paid for it is that I recorded my audio during that conversation. I did not record my screens. I realized that after it was over with. Oh, I know how I could do it is compare it to what it's currently priced at. Here it is, Purr rugs, dirt trapping doormat, showing $74.99. No, I remember it because it was like 67 something. Yeah, the original. Oh, I know what I can do is I can go back and look at my prior order confirmation. So if I search my email for Purr rugs, that'll show what I ordered them at before. No, it doesn't because I don't have that email. I think I deleted it. When I delete a bunch of emails that I don't need, my Amazon order confirmations, I typically don't keep them because I know I can go into my order history and see my order history. Except in this case, I can't because she disappeared it. How about if I change my search filter to include the deleted items folder, search all mail. See here, when I click on the filters, let's see, let's make sure that I can show you this whole process. Yeah, when I search for Purr rugs, I only get these two dates, which is one is for the confirming the order and the other is confirming the shipped. Now, if I come up here to the filters and come down here to search, and instead of searching all mail, if I search mail, spam, and trash, because see, I don't think all mail includes spam and trash. Now I'm going to take that off screen when I click on it. Actually, I can click on it here. So that says I want to search all three of those. Now click search. Let's see if it comes up with what I want. Yes. Yes, it does. I can show all of these. So this shows that some of them have been delivered and ordered 3 and 2 more items. So I think the original orders is going to show up here because I think, well, I told you 3 of them were delivered and the other 2 that I ordered should show up here. Yeah, there you go. Checking to be sure there's no addresses shown here. Yeah, so here we go. My original order was at $67.49. I did receive one of the long ones at the $67.49. The 2 that had not been received yet are now ordered at that higher dollar amount that we just showed. I have already spent more time on the subject than the dollar amount involved. All right, I'm out of here. We are so done. I'm taking a last look at let's see, Boss Frog says, nice move that email back to the inbox or folder where it stays. Oh, we say nice, move it back to the folder. Okay, I'll do that afterwards. It's a good idea. Jamie, her name is Jamie. Yes, welcome again, Jamie. All right, I'm out of here. Have a great weekend, everybody. And yeah, I guess that's all to it. Send me an email if you got any stories to tell. And there we go. Bye.
That's all, folks.
Tune in. Days a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team. For Windows support and more than you dream. Join the fun, don't miss a single stream. At LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts or simply where tech support's supreme. Where tech support's supreme. Tune in, days a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team. For Windows support and more than you've dreamed. Join the fun, don't miss a single stream. At LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts or simply more deeply VB, where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. supreme.